Welcome to another edition of Coffee with the Goose, where we talk about things that are interesting, fascinating, and irritating. Yes, I'm the Goose. Glad to have you aboard once again. Got a lot of interesting things to talk about today. Boxing, that's always interesting. Let's start the way we always do, though, with a sip of coffee, so we're all steamed up and got all the, not the anger, but all the enthusiasm we need. Caffeine is the answer, right? My coffee, as you know, very strong, like my opinion, and I got some creamer to make it sweet, just like me. All right. How'd you like that Pacquiao video? Ha! We had fun doing that. I know it wasn't really Pacquiao, but trust me, as Manny Pacquiao gets closer to his next fight, it's probably going to be mid-July. I'll do my best, Jude, my partner, and I, to go to LA and go to the Wildcard Gym. I've already lined up, I believe, an interview with Freddie Roach, and we're going to do our best to get Manny Pacquiao. And I'm serious about this. We'll do our best. Anyhow, we hinted about a possible quote unquote unification tournament in the welterweight division a couple months ago, and this is fascinating. I remember the days when we would have unified champions. It was quite common, where different boxing divisions, WBO, WBC, etc., had the same champion, and that's quite an honor. We might see that. I hope we see that soon. But it looks like we're going to have a Final Four, if you will, very soon. First, we're going to have Manny Pacquiao taking on Keith Thurman, and then it will be Sean Porter, another champion, against Errol Spence Jr. And the winners of those fights will duke it out for the not quite undisputed title, because there's one more champion involved, and he's not part of the same company, the Al Heyman, Floyd Mayweather company, and that is Terence Crawford, who's a great fighter. He's a handful. He's unbeaten. I think he's 35-0, 26 KOs. Product of Omaha, Nebraska. Terence Crawford is the real deal. He's a great young fighter, and his last win, WBO welterweight title, by the way. His last win, though, was disappointing. It was against Amir Khan. Now, Khan, in his heyday, a few years ago, was very good, top level fighter. He's not that way anymore. We've heard about the glass chin of Amir Khan. That wasn't the problem against Terence Crawford, though, recently. It was his heart. He got hurt, but then he took a shot to the groin, and he basically quit. He quit. Very disappointing. Now, don't take anything away from Terence Crawford. He's one of the greatest in the world. So hopefully, down the line, we'll see a real unification bout. But let's take a look at those two fights I was talking about. First, it will be Errol Spence Jr. against Sean Porter. Both champions, both young champions. Spence, of course, coming off that victory over Mikey Garcia. Spence is the IBF title holder. Garcia, of course, a great young fighter. But that was disappointing as well, because Garcia is a lightweight, really. He's a lightweight. He was unbeaten, and he moved up 2 weight classes to take on Spence, and he was schooled. Spence, a great fighter, took it to him, made him look bad. It was easy. In my opinion, he won every round. But you guys, I've had one person say, well, he hurt him. He didn't hurt him at all. Spence is too good to be, Mikey Garcia was too good to be hurt, but not good enough to even come close to defeating Errol Spence Jr. So all the credit in the world to Errol Spence Jr., who's now 25-0 with 22 KOs, a great young fighter, and he's going to take on Sean Porter. Now, these two guys really don't like each other, and they're two polar opposites in their personalities, their demeanor. Errol Spence Jr., you never see him smile. A nice enough guy. But Sean Porter, big smile, very sociable, very lovable guy, but he's a warrior. and he has lost twice. Now, comparing the two fighters, completely different demeanors, not just personality, but their fighting skills. Spence is more of a boxer. He's more skilled, and with the fundamentals, the boxing fundamentals in the movement in the ring. He's a great, he moves around better in the ring. He's got a great jab. He's very skilled. Now, Shawn Porter, meanwhile, is a fighter. He's going to be in your face. He's not there to box and put on a show. He's there to beat you and to beat you up. And Porter has lost twice. Now, their resume is completely different. Errol Spence Jr., again, all the credit in the world to him, but who has he fought? No big-time fighters, not welterweight fighters. Now, Porter, on the other hand, has fought several. And the two losses that he had were to Kell Brook and to Keith Thurman. The fight to Thurman, and he does not like Thurman either. Those two guys are completely opposite. Thurman's undefeated. He's going to fight Pacquiao. But that fight between Porter and Thurman was very, very close. All three judges scored it razor thin in favor of Thurman, 115 to 113. So, those are two losses for Shawn Porter. Give him credit. He's taken on the best. Now, what's going to happen if Porter, and it probably will now, if Porter takes on Errol Spence Jr.? What can we expect? I don't expect a knockout, okay? I do expect Errol Spence Jr. to beat Porter. And it's going to be a great fight. I don't think Porter can handle Errol Spence Jr.'s refined boxing skills, his ability to jab. If Spence keeps the distance, keeps him in his comfort zone with his footwork and his jab, Spence will win convincingly. I honestly don't see Shawn Porter winning that fight unless Spence just gets lazy, and that's not how he is. So Shawn Porter, great champion, very respectable, and a great fighter. Great resume, but I don't think he is capable of beating Errol Spence Jr. The other fight, we've talked about it before, Manny Pacquiao against Keith Thurman. Thurman undefeated, another undefeated titleist with 29-0, I think 22 KOs, I believe. 29-0, 22 KOs. And Thurman, you love to hate the guy. He loves to talk and tell you how good he is. Now, Thurman made a mistake, in my opinion. What happens when you trash talk Manny Pacquiao? It's probably not going to end well. We've seen many, many examples. You don't trash talk that guy. First of all, Pacquiao's not going to talk back to you. He'll just smile at you and nod his head. That's just not part of his game. But Thurman, you can't shut him up. And it's irritating. But Thurman, Pacquiao's been through this, dozens of times. He knows. He doesn't take it personally. But Thurman talked about his mother and said Pacquiao's 2 feet tall. And I don't even think he mentioned his age, but just, demeaning every step of the way. And it's kind of funny because fighters who talk that way to Manny Pacquiao, they pay a price. What's going to happen when Thurman fights Pacquiao? We talked about this before. I'll rehash it for you. Thurman, very skilled, and he's tough. One-time Thurman, very heavy hitter. I'm not sure if he is the same fighter that we saw a couple years ago, because he took 2 years off after he had the car accident, and then he had other issues. He's injury prone. He had the elbow issues. Came back against Josecito Lopez. He won the fight here a couple months ago, but very unimpressive fight. He was hurt badly, and he was chased around the ring for a couple of rounds. Josecito Lopez made him look bad. But Thurman, to his credit, he won the fight, still unbeaten, still got the crown, and they will unify, the Thurman and Pacquiao fight will unify the WBO, I forgot which one it was. One of the welterweight titles. Pacquiao has the regular title, and Thurman has the super title or whatever, but they're going to unify that. And what can you say about Pacquiao? When you get in the ring with him, expect the unexpected. There's no game plan to fighting Manny Pacquiao. Oh, by the way, they're both left-handers, so that'll make it interesting. But there's no real game plan. Number one, you better be ready to move, because Pacquiao will make you move on your feet, and he will wear you out physically and wear you out mentally. And there's always that lovely moment. I've seen this so many times where Pacquiao is walking from the dressing room to the ring, and it's all smiles and high-fiving everybody. He's Manny Pacquiao. Then when he climbs into the ring, that smile's gone. And it's the Pacquiao of old. And you're in trouble. And the fighters across the ring look at him and go, uh-oh, now I see that he's to be feared. And Thurman, he better be ready, because he's in for the fight of his life. He's had some great fights. He's fought a lot of champions, but he's never fought Manny Pacquiao. I don't expect a knockout in this one either. Certainly not Thurman knocking Pacquiao out. I predict Pacquiao will win that fight. Should be entertaining for a couple of rounds, but once Thurman tastes Pacquiao's power, he'll get on his horse, just like a lot of other fighters did, just like Broner did a short time ago. And it'll be embarrassing. We'll see. Looking forward to both of these fights, and hopefully unifying the welterweight title in one guy, and then maybe they'll all these Al Heyman fighters get that settled, and the one unified champion will hopefully they'll sit down with Bob Arum, and Terence Crawford will be next. But we'll see. A lot of great fights to come this summer. Reminder, we're on Facebook, Coffee with the Goose. And again, I look forward, and we're serious, to getting the real Manny Pacquiao on camera for you guys. That's it for this edition of Coffee with the Goose. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you very, very much for subscribing. And we'll see you on Facebook. Talk to you next time. Take care.